I just wanted to sit in this seat.
Good. Get up.
And my question is, how can I accept more that it is given? So, intellectually, I do.
How can I accept more that's in my vortex, or how can I accept that it really has been given? Is it the concept that you're holding out on, or do you think you're just not letting it all come to you that could?
That one.
Well, it's about priming the pump a little. It's like as you notice what is coming, your expectation improves, and then more and more and more and more momentum comes. So that's what we mean by milking it. Acknowledge the pieces that are coming. A statement that works really well is, at one time, I wasn't experiencing this and I wanted it, and now I'm experiencing it. So see how it works?
Yeah.
And so as you do more and more of that, it's like priming the pump, so to speak, getting the energy flowing. And then in time, it flows so abundantly in so many different aspects of your life that people who are around you just can't figure it out. How is it that you barely speak it and it shows up in your experience? And you say, I bought a ticket. No, you don't.
I guess this experience will be that priming of the pump for me.
Yeah, a lot of people in the room raised my hand. Abraham saw me. Somebody else tried to get my place, but Abraham didn't let that happen.
Yeah. I have another question. Is it all right that I ask it?
Yeah.
I never had questions for Abraham. I listened for a really long time.
Can you hear clearly?
And one evening, I was listening to the broadcast, and it got in my mind the question, is there a difference between Abraham and Source?
There's a difference in quantity.
Yeah.
It's like people say, is there a difference between Esther's inner being and Abraham? And we say, Esther's inner being is part of the collective consciousness that we are calling Abraham. And Abraham is part of the collective consciousness that you could call Source.
But Source is so much more.
It's a stream of energy, but this doesn't mean that Esther or Esther's inner being or Abraham or any of yours has more work to do before you're part of Source. It just means that Source is a lot of collective consciousness that is focused simultaneously in infinite ways upon infinite subjects. And so when you ask a question, you have access to the fullness of it, but you're not vibrationally ready to receive the fullness of all of that, you see. Mm-hmm. So the percentage might be the best way of describing it, of Source that you allow, has to do with how you've trained your expectation into understanding the perfection and power of your own worthiness. Truly, your true authentic self is at one with what you want to call Source energy. There are facets of it. It's a stream of consciousness. You come, you're in this environment, sitting on these chairs, sitting in your clumps on your chairs, and you see yourself as individual, but the non-physical stream that is you is not a clump of non-physical assigned to a clump of physical you. It's a stream, and you have access to as much of it as your life has caused you to ask for, and as your willingness to calibrate has allowed you to receive. Don't let that put you in a place of competition with someone else, or even discomfort with, as our friend said, of how much you've asked for that you have not yet received. Because wherever you are is just fine. Your inner being is exhilarated about exactly where you are. You never get it done. There's not some ending place that you're all striving for, and until you get there, you're deficient. There's not any of that. It's that you are a never-ending, eternal creator who will have endless opportunity to explore and discover the deliciousness of expansion. The purpose of your life, we like to talk about it as a triad of intentions, the purpose that you have assigned to it. Triad of intentions of freedom and growth and joy. You're so free you can choose bondage, but the expansion or the growth part, it's inevitable. You can't stop that from being. But when you get your eye on how you feel, when you let the emotional part of that be what you're tending to, now you keep yourself in balance and life feels really, really good to you. You know how you're on track? You're consistently in a really good mood. You know how you're on track? You're adoring other people, even when they want and do different things than you would want or than you would do. When you are more inner being-like, where you are feeling compassion for someone who has experienced some plight, and they may be in a very unhappy, lower half of the scale emotional state of being, but you're able to see them and maintain your upper half of the emotional scale sensitivity or sensibility about them because you understand the wholeness of their story and who they really are. You know what their true place is in terms of well-being that they can allow. And so you demonstrate through the clarity of your example that you're good right where you are. And this seemed like a good idea at the time. And I've never been one who is seeking perfection because that implies endedness. And I know there's not any of that. I'm just in an eternal state of joyous becoming. That's what you want to demonstrate, you see. And so that's what you're all doing, demonstrating your joyous state of eternal becoming because it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
Enough?
Thank you.
Really good. Really good.